Jonathan from Anglotopia here. I'm going to try something a little new. I'm going to do a book review of a British book I recently read and share it with everybody. I'm going to talk about Another World, The Oxford Years, a Memoir by Melvyn Bragg. And if you followed Anglotopia for a long time, you will know that I love Oxford deeply. I've done a few courses there over the years in the summer, and it's my favorite city outside of London to visit because it's so beautiful and it's so studious and it's kind of represents knowledge and learning and longing. And I love Oxford so much. And so I was delighted to read this book, which is actually, and I didn't know this, is a sequel. So Melvyn Bragg, for those who don't know who Melvyn Bragg is, he is a eminent cultural figure in Britain who has been part of the British cultural landscape for I think he just turned 80. He's famous for hosting a show called The South Bank Show, which was the preeminent documentary series about British culture and current culture. In addition to that, he was also the host of the iconic BBC4 radio show called In Our Time, which takes deep dives into British historical subjects and culture, and in a very erudite and dense way. It's one of the most popular cultural podcasts in the world, actually. And he only recently just ended his run, despite his age. And he's also written books and novels, and he's even a lord. And so he last year or 2 years ago he released a memoir about growing up in the Lake District, which I'm actually going to go buy and read because I love this one. And this is kind of a pseudo sequel to it. And you can tell that the publisher was like, well, when you get to Oxford, I think that's a whole other book on its own because it's such a shift in his way of thinking and his way of living. And he talks about what it's like to go to Oxford as a student in the 1950s and the early 1960s as a working class boy from Cumbria, going to Oxford, the hub of the establishment and high culture, and basically becoming inaugurated into this world that he had no concept of, and making friends and with the upper classes, and learning how to become what he ended up becoming, which was a part of Britain's cultural landscape. So you get lots of lovely descriptions of Oxford, lots of interesting stories about people he met, he goes to interesting places. He has an interesting relationship with his girlfriend, which actually doesn't end, but they have a friendship that lasts their entire lives. And so I really enjoyed this, and I highly recommend it. If you like Oxford or if you like British cultural things, you'll probably enjoy this. And it's a short read, so you can have it read in a couple afternoons. And I'm definitely going to go pick up his other book and read that because I love Cumbria, so I want to read about his childhood in Cumbria and Wigton. So that's it. That's the book.